Hi there, this is Jerome Alexa from Pro Tutorials, and today I'm going to explain how you can either hire a virtual assistant or a ghostwriter for your Kindle publishing business. And if you still haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, I recommend for you to do it. Just go right below and click on that subscribe button so you can start receiving my weekly video updates where I share with you plenty of tips related to self-publishing and also online marketing. Anyway, let's continue talking about this. So in this video, I'm going to explain how you can do either one or another, so I'm going to try to do my best when it comes to explaining both things along this video. So the first thing that you need to do is go to this website called Upwork. I'm going to leave a link to all of in this case to Upwork, right below on the description from this video so you can easily go to this website. Now, this is a platform where you can hire virtual assistants for basically anything that you want, including for your Kindle publishing business and also ghostwriters. When it comes to Kindle publishing, if you are new to this, you probably are wondering why exactly I needed a virtual assistant. Well, when it comes to this, the only reason I have virtual assistants for my Kindle publishing business is because I need someone to get reviews for my books. And I already explained that I do review swapping when it comes to this. I know that some people don't like this idea, but that's exactly what I do. And if you are someone who is new to this, or if you are a new author, or you have a pen name that nobody ever heard about inside of Amazon and also outside of Amazon, you aren't Tony Robbins, for example, then it's extremely hard for you to get reviews for your books, and you need to find some way to get reviews. And review swapping is one of the most effective and consistent ways for you to get reviews for your books, and also one of the easiest ways for you to scale up your Kindle publishing business. So that is exactly what I do. When it comes to ghostwriters, I commonly just go to a ghostwriter company. The one that I'm using at the moment is called Hot Ghostwriter, and that is where I get my writing done. But of course, you can always use Upwork for this. The main advantage of using Upwork for your writing, for your book writing, is that you can find ghostwriters that you will need to pay less in order for them to get your book done. Now, the main disadvantage is it's far more time consuming. Okay, I recommend for you to always interview that person before you decide to give them your job, because I mean, it's not like you are going to waste a huge amount of money, but probably are still going to waste some, let's say $200 to get someone to write a book for you. And of course, you don't want to get someone who does a terrible job. And I mean, once you receive your book, you start reading it and you just have headaches and you can't sleep at night because the book just looks terrible. It's full of grammatical errors and it's just really terrible. So in order for that to not happen, I recommend for you to interview people, even through Skype. Have just a bunch of questions that you want to ask that person. Even ask that person to send to you their prior work so you can read it and see if they have good quality when it comes to their writing. So that for you to do that is always more time consuming, especially considering that probably you will want to get several books done in a single month. And for that, you will need a team of writers. So it's quite time consuming for you to be able to build a good team of writers. But the advantage, as I already said, is that you spend less money. So you go over here to this website, you sign up so you can create an account with Upwork. Then you log in. So once you log in, this is the first page that you will be able to see. And the first thing that you should do is either connect your PayPal account or your bank account to Upwork, because you need to have an option in order for you to pay the person who is going to do the job for you. And the way that the payment process works is, once you set a job, and I'm going to explain how you can do that, but once you set a job and you contract someone, the money that you need to pay that person will be taken from either from your bank account or your PayPal account, and it will be passed to Upwork, and that money will be in standby, and you can pretty much decide when you want to pay that person the money that you owe to them. So normally that is when you actually end the contract with that person, you just pay that money. Now, sometimes what may happen is that person that is working for you doesn't get their job completed in the time that you set for them. For example, this sometimes happens with the review process. I ask someone to get, let's say, 50 reviews for me, and after 2 weeks they only have 15 reviews. So what I do is I only pay the 15 reviews, and all of the rest of the money that was supposed to be paid for that person if they actually completed the job, all of that money goes back to my PayPal account. So basically that is how the payment process works inside of Upwork. Now the first thing that you want to do is just post a new job. Now in this page you want to create a new job. You can see that I already have a title that I've used previously for me to actually set a job for a virtual assistant. When it comes to virtual assistant, this is something that you need to be cautious, because you can't post a job where you have a title, for example, similar to I'm looking for a virtual assistant to get reviews for my book, or even have a description where you mention that you want to get reviews for your Kindle books. Because if you have a job with a title like that, or even a description, what happens is most likely your job will get removed from Upwork. So you need to have a title similar to this one that you can see over here, where I never even mentioned that I want someone to get reviews for my book. But once someone who is in this field, in this area, they see this title, they will immediately know what exactly I'm looking for. So that is something that you need to pay attention. Now for you to create a new job, you just select this first option, you press next, and then you go over here and tell us what type of work you want done. So if I want a virtual assistant, I just write virtual assistant, and I choose this first option over here for this. If you want a writer, just write writer. And you can see that you have several options over. It depends on the type of book that you want to get done. So if you want a book for business, then you want to choose the first option. If you want a technical writing book, choose this option. And this is mostly for nonfiction, and I just publish books related to nonfiction. So if you want a fiction book done, then just choose creative writing for that. Okay, so that is basically what you need to do over here. And let's say I want to get a technical book, so I choose this option. Now you need to have a title for this. So this is actually a decent title. Looking for a ghostwriter for a Kindle book or Kindle books. Depends on the quantity of books that you want to get done, of course. And if you are looking for a virtual assistant, of course you don't want to use this title. You want to use a title similar to the one which I mentioned before, even though I don't recommend for you to use exactly the same title that I've used. Otherwise, sooner or later what happens is there's a bunch of jobs inside of Upwork with exactly the same title, and Upwork will think that people are just spamming jobs with the same title. So I recommend for you to change it a bit, but I guess you get the idea. So looking for a ghostwriter for Kindle Publishing, you just press next. And over here you want to choose one of these options. As I already said before, it really depends on the type of book that you want to get done. So if you want a book related to coding, then you will need to have a more specialized writer for that, because not everyone knows about coding. So when it comes to that, you normally need to pay a bit more for your book, because you're getting a writer that is specialized in that area. If you want just a more normal book, let's say a book related to yoga, then you may want to choose this first option for that. Now when it comes to virtual assistant, let's see over here for virtual assistant, what you need to do over here, it's actually this first option. And of course you want to choose another title for this. I commonly just choose personal assistant for this. That is the option that I choose over here. And let's go over here to this one. And I'm just going through more of the how you can hire a ghostwriter, because it's a bit more complex than hiring a virtual assistant for reviews. So you choose this first option. I'm going to choose this first option for this, and I'm going to press next. Now once we are on this page, you want to put over here a brief description of what exactly you want. Let's say I am looking for And of course, you may want to put a bit more information. If it was for a virtual assistant, I would say I'm looking for a virtual assistant for my Kindle publishing books. And you don't need to actually put much information over here when it comes to that. Just a brief description, because later on, once you are trying to hire someone, you should provide them guidelines of what exactly you want for your work. So it's not that important. Just give a description, so when someone is seeing this job application, they will have a good idea of what exactly are your intentions. You may even want to attach a file over here. Normally I don't do that. Then over here, what type of project do you have? A one-time project. Of course, if you get someone who is good virtual assistant or a good ghostwriter, of course later on you can always rehire them again for your next book, or to get more reviews for your next book. So that is not a huge problem over here. And when it comes to hire one freelancer, I normally go with the first option. Now, if you want to hire multiple virtual assistants or even multiple ghostwriters, just choose the second option and select the number of people that you are looking for. Enter skills over here. Let's see. In this case, skills. If it's a virtual assistant, just choose this option over here, virtual assistant. If it's for a book, just choose ghostwriting. And let's go over here and choose another option. Let's say ebook writing and writing. And that is pretty much just these three options is pretty much what you need. How would you like to pay? When it comes to this, I just like to set a fixed pricing, and I just set the minimal budget. Of course, I'm not going to pay this to someone, but I just set this pricing, and then I discuss with that person in private the money that I'm willing to pay them. And this is something that normally you may want to negotiate with your writer or with your virtual assistant later on. And in this case, you can choose intermediate for this. And the rest of the options, I normally don't choose much. Freelancers using, I just choose this options over here, but you may want to put more information. Normally I don't do that. Now, if it's for a book, you may want to provide more information because it's a bit more complex than just hiring someone to get reviews for your book. That is pretty much what you do over here. And just post a job. Now, once you have your job set, I don't recommend for you to just sit and wait for people to send applications for your job, because normally there are a few people, of course, that will send you applications, but what I recommend for you to do is for you to go out there and actually invite people that are that basically fill the requirements that you want. Invite them to your job. And for you to be able to do that, you go to this search box, and if you are trying to find writers, you just write writers. Now, if you are trying to find people for review shopping, just write Kindle. And I'm actually going to show to you both things. So just go over here to writer, press enter, and you will see that a bunch of people who have that can even write over here ghostwriter, and let's see what it will appear. So this will filter a bunch of people, so you will get more specialized people for what you're trying to do. And you can see that once you post a job, this button will appear, which allows you to invite that person to your job. So what I recommend for you to always do is first see the job success percentage. First, for you to see that, and then what you should do is you should always go over here and click on that person profile, read this information, and see if they have information about what exactly they do, but more importantly, see the jobs that they already have done and see if they have jobs similar to what you are looking for. So if you are looking for someone to write a book for you, then see if they have jobs similar to that. Because if they already have jobs similar to what you are looking for, then that means that they have some experience, and you won't get a total noob writing a book for you, and then you just waste time, and then it's just a huge amount of problems that you want to avoid. So spend some time, don't rush the process, read their profile, see if they have jobs similar to what you are trying to get for you, and then based on that information, post job to invite that person will be invited to your job. They will receive that a notification, and then you basically need to do an interview. So that's what you need to do. So if I was looking for someone for Kindle, I would go over here to Kindle, and you can see that Amazon Kindle VA, an SEO expert. This might be someone who is actually good for this, and you can see that you get a bunch of people that might be good for this type of work. So once again, you go to a profile, you go right below, and you can see that I have vast knowledge about Amazon Kindle review and virtual assistant. I mean, this information, anyone can basically invent this, so it's not a huge thing, and that's why I always recommend for you to check the jobs that they already have done. And you can see that this person, for example, already has jobs that are related to Kindle virtual assistant. So if I hire this person, I already know that this person has some good experience in this field, and probably they would get a good job done, because you can see that this person has received plenty of reviews, because these are reviews left by the customers that this person had in the past, and you can see that this person is receiving a 5-star rating, and this person might be a decent virtual assistant that may get reviews for you in the time frame that you want. And you just post job to invite, so you can invite that person to your job. Now the last part of this process is, once you have invited several people over here, I recommend for you to at least invite 10 to 15 people related to the job that you are trying to get done. Then they will receive a notification, and some of them will accept your job, or they will accept your application to your job. And then you will exchange messages with them. And when you exchange messages with them, I recommend for you to send them a guidelines of what exactly you want to get done. Now, when it comes to getting a book done, it's a bit more complex than getting reviews for your book. And I recommend for you to spend more time and even interview that person through Skype, so you can get a better idea if they are able to accomplish your work in the way that you want or not. And if they have, of course, good writing skills. When it comes to Kindle, I basically explain the amount of money that I'm going to pay for each review. This can be, for example, normally I pay about $1.5 for each review. So I immediately say that I pay $1.05 for each review that person gets. I explain that in the first week I want them to get 20 reviews for my book. In the second week I want them to get more 20 reviews or 30 reviews for my book when my book goes on free promotion. And I basically explain exactly what they need to do when it comes to my books. And I mean, this pricing may be negotiated. When it comes to ghostwriters, the difference is you basically tell that person the amount of money that you're going to pay for each 100 words. So for each 100 words, you say that you're going to pay, let's say $1.1. Actually, I'm not certain the amount of money over here, but probably $1.5 for each 100 words that person writes for you. And then you, of course, explain the topic, guidelines. The guidelines are the topics that you want to get covered on your book. You can send them images or whatever, anything that makes the the process more easy for the ghostwriter to understand what you want to get done. Just send them images, graphics, whatever, depending on the type of book that you want to get done. Then ask them to send their prior work, so they can send you their prior work, and you can read it so you can get a better idea of what they are actually able to do. And you can even ask, lastly, to go to Skype. Ask them to go to Skype. Jesus, when I'm talking, it's really hard for me to write at the same time. So you ask them to go to Skype. You have, let's say, several questions to ask them. Let's say 10 questions. You ask them, you interview them. You see that they are a good, possibly a good writer, and you just contract that person to start getting your work done. Of course, you always want to set a time frame of the amount of days that you want to get your book done. Normally, it may take about 10 to 15 days for a ghostwriter to get a book done, depending on its length. I'm talking about a book with about 12,000 words or even 15,000 words. Okay, that is all for this video. If you want to learn more about self-publishing, I recommend for you to get one of the best video courses out there for nonfiction called Self-Publishing Revolution. This is the course that will teach you all of the necessary strategies in order for you to become a success in Kindle publishing. You have a link right below in the description from this video that you can click and find more information about this course. Anyway, if you have any question related to this video, just leave it on the comments section right below. I'll try to reply to you as soon as possible. That is all for now. Stay tuned with Pro Tutorials, and bye.